Today on the channel, I'm going to show you how to play Wildside and Girls, Girls, Girls by Motley Crue. Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to take a look at two classic Motley Crue songs and give some love to Mick Mars and that nasty drop tune guitar that he's got on Girls, Girls, Girls and Wildside. So, put your granny panties on. We're going to drop this guitar down one entire step. So we are actually tuned to drop D all the way, every string. So when you play a low E chord, it's actually in the key of D. I've actually got 9s and 10s on this guitar. I use hybrid strings, so I've got a set of 10s up on the lower strings, and then they're 9s on the higher strings. So I kind of like that setup because I like the 9s for the solos, but I like the low 10s. I consider 10s low for the meatier stuff. So anyway, we're going to take off with, let's start off with Wildside. So Wildside, we're going to pretend like we're in standard. I'm going to say it's in the key of A. So you take an open A power chord here at the nut, and that's going to be our main key. This song employs palm muting and some pull-offs. It's a very simple song, and there's no guitar solo in this, but what makes this song difficult to learn is the tone is thick, but it's a little bit muddy because it's detuned, and Mick executes it with a little bit of a swagger and a little bit of style that's kind of a drunken style that he's got going on. I don't know if that was self-inflicted or just his style in general. So the song starts off with a whammy bar, and I don't have a whammy bar on this because I had to tune this really low, so I'm with a stop tailpiece guitar, this Les Paul. But he basically hits a whammy bar and then pulls up to this. When I play it to this 5th fret, so when I play it live, I just go. Or I go. I kind of like the slide down better. So what he's doing on that first riff, let me play this riff through for you all the way so you can kind of hear what it sounds like, and then I'll break it down. Then up to speed. So what he's doing there is we're playing an E or a C over an A, which is really cool because that just defines that minor A nasty sound. The C being the minor third of A. So the power chord itself. So we're taking the two middle strings, the D and the G string, and we're sliding down to the 4th fret like that, and then we're going to slide up to the 7th fret. So I'm going to show you the little chugging part afterwards. So that's the main body of the riff, and then he does this D chord. And he doesn't play the whole, I don't think he plays the whole chord like, he plays an open D, and he goes, so you got the D, and then we're on the B string and the G string on the 7th and 8th fret, and then he goes, sometimes he hits a pinch harmonic. So let me put in the chug, the little A part, this little A string. So I just noticed there's something in there that I usually play so fast that I forgot was actually in there. So we're going to go like this. What I'm doing there is going, and I'm pulling off from a C to an open G, open D and G string. I'm doing pinch harmonics on there. Mick uses a lot of distortion, a lot of scooped mids, so it gets that really chunky sound. When you play this live, you can't really scoop it out that much because it'll just be woofy and interfere with the bass, so you got to boost the mids, but on the record they just mixed them that way. Really nice fat sound. So back to this riff. And then he goes. What I'm doing there is I'm just playing an A chord. I'm playing basically the low A and then the D string on the E. Sometimes I might be playing this A note on the G string, but mostly it's just these two notes. I'm muting the low E string with my thumb because it gives it that chunkiness. And then during the verse he goes. Now my fingers are in the way, and the reason my fingers look differently than when I'm playing it is I'm using my fingers to mute some of the strings when I'm strumming and attacking the notes a little bit more aggressively. But really all this is, I'm going to turn down a little bit so I can play it clean. All this part is this chord here to that chord there. So when I'm on the D string, I'm on the 7th fret, and I'm on the G string on the 9th fret, like that. And that's basically an A chord. We're up here, and he goes, he's pulling off to this D, which is the two middle strings on the 7th fret, so it's, and then go down 2 frets and do the same thing, and then up to this. So he goes 2 on this one, and then back to this. And what I'm doing there is I'm going. Okay, so then in that little bridge part, there's one other part where he goes. So what he does there is he goes. Then slide that down 2 frets. So I'm just playing the B string and the G string together, making that nice major third, which is a C chord. So it goes. But I like to play it in pieces. So he hits a low A, and he goes, He slides up from the C to the D, but once again we're back on the 2 middle strings. So it goes A, almost immediately hits the C to the D. Then we chug on the A twice. So each one's got that little build-in, that. And then at the end of that little bridge part, he just goes. So that's all the parts to Motley Crue Wildside. I suggest that you name each one of these parts something like A, B, or C, or call it like verse riff or chorus riff, and write you a chart with a Sharpie and listen to the song and then write those parts down, so when you're playing that song to the record, you know which part to play where, because the song is structured a little different. There's little sections in there that you gotta remember. It's the structure of the song, but that's the entire components of Wildside by Motley Crue. Other than you just have to listen to the song for the exact structure. Okay, so Girls, Girls, Girls is a little similar. Mick employs a lot of riffs using a pedal tone. In this, what I mean by that is, in this song is, it's still in drop D all the way, but we're gonna play it like we're doing an E. And what he's doing in this song is he's going, so you're gonna have to get used to some of these little slides. Mick was on he was kind of on a kick during the Girls, Girls, Girls album. I don't know if it was a Nikki Sixx lick that he showed Mick, or Mick came up with these parts, but he's playing, instead of like on Wildside where he's doing the 2 middle strings, he's doing the 2 strings, the D and the A string together. And then he switches to the 2 middle strings. So that's going to be in this song quite a bit. Before that riff starts, it starts off with the motorcycle, and then they hit a G chord. And then he hits a harmonic on an overdub guitar. He goes, on the 5th fret, he's hitting the D and the G string together, or the G string. I think it's the D and the G. And he hits the whammy bar, and he does the dips on it, and then the riff comes in. Something like that. So what we're doing is going. So I'm starting on the A and the D string, playing this perfect 4th, right? And I'm going to be chugging this low E in between this riff. So the riff without the chugs goes. Which is an E chord. But then you got to add the, and there, so it goes. Now you can play this E 2 different ways. That's the open E, or you can go like that. I prefer this way, so I'm going to continue to play my E like this in this lesson. I think the tuning stability on it sounds better, and I think the richness of the chord is better. So once again, so that little blues thing, he goes like that. Everybody should know this by now. And so you can mess around with those little riffs in between this, and I'll break that down in a little bit. more comprehensive manner. So this riff in slow motion. So he kind of does a turnaround. Something like that. There we go. And then the verse comes in, which is an A chord. So one more time on that intro riff. Then we're on this A. And then he goes, we're going to be back to doing the fourths on the middle two strings. So he goes. So what I did there is I slid up to the seventh. It's almost like he's playing slide. So I'm going to go. A good reference point is to start 2 frets in front of the fret that you want to end on. So if we're gonna play this D note, this D chord, I'd go and then go half a step down, or and then so the verse is. And what I'm doing there are octaves. I'm playing around this D. I'm doing an octave, which is on the A string and the G string, and we're on the 5th or the 4th and the 6th fret on the A and G octave, and we're going to go. We're going to actually start on the 7th and the 5th and the 7th, like that. So that whole riff goes in slow motion. And then back to the verse, or the chorus. Now there's that little bridge part where he goes. So what I'm doing there is I'm chugging on that low E. And then go B to C sharp. And then we're going to go down to a, which is a B. But what I'm doing is I'm going, so I'm playing this B like, so I'm kind of playing this B with the B up here. And then, so that part goes. Then A. then it goes back to the... like that. All right, so we're going to break it down to this guitar solo. Okay, so for the guitar solo, he goes... So what I'm doing there is I'm up on the 14th and the 15th fret in the E minor pentatonic position, and I'm doing this bend. And then he's going to do a whammy bar thing where he goes... So what I'm doing there is going... which is 12-15 on the B string to a 15 on the G. With a pull-up. Or you can just go like that, go and just hit your whammy bar really hard. And then he's going to bend up, which is the E, high E. We're going to bend up. So it goes. And then we're going to speed pick on the 12th, 13th, or 12th, 14th, and 15th and go. Like that, which is. Like that, and he bends up to that A note. And then this is kind of a hard part. You got to go way up here. And I recommend picking up on this because you're way up here on the highest fret. I don't have a 24 fret guitar, but what we're doing is we're bending this up to a high E. And you got to really listen to your pitch and make sure that pitch is on point. And then you're going to let it go. Like that. You're going to release just a little bit. And then we're going to start up on the 12th fret, or the 10th fret, which is a G power chord. Which is like going, but we're going to be right here. Now we're going to go back up to this. So what he's doing there is he's going. Which is kind of like mixing a D and an E scale together. So we're going to bend up on the, let's see, 17, 19, 20, 20, I'm on the 22nd fret, bending up to 24th. So what we're doing there is going, so you got to think of the, try to practice that run just by yourself. So we're hammering on and sliding down. And you got to get it fast. And of course, I've got that in tablature for you. Funny story, I heard, Mick Mars, I read an interview that, he had the bone disease that he's got, and he was playing that album, cutting that in the studio, and he was propped up in a chair to do that solo, and he lost his balance after that solo, and he said that he fell over in the studio, and somebody had to come in and help him off the ground because he fell out of his chair. So when you hear him go, allegedly Mick Mars fell out of his chair, and that's the end of the song. So So you not only got a guitar lesson out of it, you got some Motley Crue trivia. Anyway, I hope that you liked the double shot lesson of Motley Crue. If you liked it, please comment below, subscribe, and until next time, peace out.